pull up a comfy chair and hold on to your chicken tenders because you're watching Game Explorer.
Number 10. The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages. This is a classic game originally made for the Game Boy Color, and is the only Zelda game to come out via Pokemon style, having two sister games released at the same time, the two being Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. It gives a unique insight into the governmental workings, where Link is sent from Hyrule to Labrynna, where the queen who rules is not Zelda, but instead Queen Ambi. You also get to meet the characters Din and Nayru for the first time. Number 9. The Legend of Zelda, Diminished. This is the only game on the list I have not beaten myself. Coming out for the Game Boy Advance, it is the second earliest game in the Zelda timeline to date. Apart from amazing gameplay and masterful story, it is the first game that we meet the Wind Sorcerer Viety, who will become a recurring enemy throughout the timeline. Number 8. The Legend of Zelda, Four Swords Adventures. This game was released for the GameCube right after Four Swords was released for the Game Boy Advance. It is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated Zelda games out there. It follows the older, traditional, top-down style from the early games, while being the only game in the series that does not use rupees. And as you can guess, there's 4 links, hence the 4 swords. Number 7. The Legend of Zelda. Designed by Shigeru Miyamoto, this is the first game in the series, the pioneer of Zelda games. It was groundbreaking for its time, and is one of only 3 titles that were released before I was born. It was the first game to ever introduce a battery-powered save function. When it was released in Japan, it was known as the Hyrule Fantasy, The Legend of Zelda. Number 6. The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. Being one of a very few Zelda games to not take place in Hyrule, Majora's Mask is by far the most unique game in the franchise. Between using masks to transform the character and reliving the same 3 days over and over, it sounds like a bad ripoff of Groundhog's Day. But this is considered by many fans to be the best in the series. Just not by me. Or Bill Murray. Probably. Number 5. The Legend of Zelda, Link's Crossbow Training. This game is totally canon, right? It's not like Nintendo just made a generic shooter game to showcase the new Wii Zapper, and then throw a Legend of Zelda skin on it so it would sell better, right? Right? Either way, if the Zapper wasn't so jerky, this would have been a great game. Well, a really good one anyway. As it stands now, it makes the list simply because it's controversial. Number 4. The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time.
What? Number 4? Have you lost your mind?
No, I didn't. It's right here. Yeah, I've played it. It's fun. Best game in the world? Hardly. Best game in the series? No, not quite. Don't get me wrong, I love this game. Enough to put it any higher though? No, sorry. The thing I love most about this one was the storyline. It's by far the cornerstone of the development of the timeline. That's why it got up to number 4. Number 3. The Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker. I'm not gonna lie, this is the first Zelda game I owned. I'm very biased, but honestly, it's a great game. It's definitely the one I've gone back through and beaten the most times. It's the direct sequel of Ocarina of Time in the adult era as of right now. Hopefully, we'll eventually get the game where Hyrule gets flooded, but for now, it's super fun to be able to navigate an entire ocean. Number 2. The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword. Okay, this is the reason I have a Wii. I love this game so much. First off, it's the earliest game in the timeline to date, and boy do I love my origin stories. It was really tough for me not to put this at number 1. You learn a lot about origins of different characters and the forming of modern Hyrule. You also get the most relationship growth with all the characters out of every game, and you get to see Link and Zelda as friends from the start. And you get to beat the Demon King Demise, and you get to explore an entire world, and you get to fly on a bird, and you get to... Number 1. The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. Come on, you knew it was coming. Best game ever. I know, not everyone's a big fan of this game, but to me, it has everything a good Zelda game should have. Well, minus the water temple. It's an open world game where you can run around Hyrule and its various provinces as well. It has a ton of great items and a solid number of medium difficulty puzzles with a few really hard ones thrown in for good measure. It has a phenomenal story with a great section that gives background to the Twilight. Also, it has arguably the first companion that travels with you who's not super annoying. Midna is regarded by most people, myself included, to be one of the best characters in the entire series. Take out the water temple and you have a perfect game. Oh yeah, you can transform into a freaking wolf.
Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you want to see some of my Let's Plays, I've got those right there for you. And if you want to see some of my top 10 lists, I've got those right there for you. And if you want to subscribe, I've got that somewhere in here for you. Thanks for watching, and remember, eat more chicken tenders. Wait.